I need to make a Roblox game within 1 week from pretty much zero experience. Let me explain. So I've been wanting to make Roblox games for quite a while now. I even talk about it in my last series of videos.
Have you heard of Roblox?
But that part got cut from the video because I was too busy showing off my fresh haircut to the world. I figured that the best way to learn how to make Roblox games is by simply diving in and making a game. It's early February, so you know Valentine's Day is coming up. I figured why not make a Valentine's Day themed Roblox game. I started off by making a sketch on my iPad for what I wanted the game to look like. So here's a quick explanation of how the game is going to work. Here is our player. He's going to stand on top of a tower, but a zombie is going to come and try to take down the player's tower. So the player will be equipped with a bow and arrow and can kill the zombie. But actually, the zombie doesn't die. He falls into a love trance. If the zombie meets another zombie that's in a love trance, they become a couple, and then they leave the player alone. The player loses if the zombies take down his tower, and the player gets the most points by creating the most couples as they can. Well, this swan just came to visit me. That's sick. Oh, he's leaving. Never mind. After I had a concept down, I got to work immediately by making the bow and arrow that the player was going to shoot. So I found this bow from the Roblox toolbox, but I don't think it was really fitting the theme of Valentine's Day, so I spiced it up a bit. And I think it looks a lot better. Then I realized this bow was missing an arrow, so I jumped into Blender and then I started making my own 3D model of an arrow. And I think it turned out adorable, honestly. I'm pretty proud of it. It took me a little longer than I'd like to admit. As I said, I have no experience, so I had no idea as to how to combine this bow and arrow. I found this tutorial on YouTube. It had some really good animations and code, which I borrowed, but if I'm being honest, the animations didn't even work with my bow and arrow because they were made for a completely different bow and arrow set. It was a pretty big pain having to edit those animations as that they probably worked with my model. At the end of the day, I'm a vibe coder, not an animator. That's the only thing you should take away from this video. Shout out to this channel for the bow and arrow tutorial. But you might be asking yourself, Jill, what does a full day of development actually look like for this game? Okay, oh, you're not asking that question. Well, anyway, here's a quick vlog of what a full day of development looked like for this game. Good morning, boys. It is currently 6 a.m. It's the 3rd of February, 6 a.m. That clock is kind of sped up, so I pretty much have like just over a week to get the game done. A really big pot of magnesium. I like to prepare my breakfast. Lets me get more work done. Got my coffee there. Now my goal is to get a good hour and a half of deep work in before my lecture. As you can see, the arrow is incredibly massive. This is the size of a zombie for reference. My objective for the next hour is to fix that. Now the arrow, when I import it into Roblox, it should have the right color. But you know, these kind of things happen. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's all good. I have to shoot off to my lecture, so let's go do that right now. All right, so I'm back now from a long day of stuff, and I'm just gonna get right back to working on this arrow. In the end, I was able to import the arrow into the game. Now we're on to the tough part, which is actually programming the stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cook dinner and then eat. This is my dinner for today. Basically some pasta with chicken, an omelet with spinach and zucchini and some cottage cheese. I'm keeping it a bit light on the fats because it's right before my kickboxing training. All right, so just finished dinner. Gonna have to go to kickboxing training like an hour 20. So I'm gonna get as much work as I can. Try to get the bow nice and more refined. Got a bit of progress done, so I actually modified the bow a little bit, so now it should work a little better when I try to program it. So yeah, see you at kickboxing. After training, I was kind of hungry, so I ate a banana and then I walked home and then I went to bed. And that was pretty much it, my full devlog of the day. Finally, I was able to get a working bow and arrow. And then I got a crosshair on this bow and arrow that tells you how much you've charged up your shot. And also the arrow actually sticks to enemies or the ground when it hits things. Bow and arrow was finally done, but it took me quite a while to make. After I made the bow and arrow, I made a zombie object and he kind of looks like Shrek. And then I found this tower. It looks like a tower that's straight out of Clash of Clans that the zombies are going to attack. So far, that's all I've gotten up to in terms of development. Making this game takes quite a lot of time for me as I'm learning as I go. Making the bow and arrow is by far the hardest part. I think the rest should hopefully go faster, but I'm making this video as a way of holding myself accountable and actually forcing myself to upload a part 2 and finish off this game. So stay tuned for part 2. And thank you for watching. Okay, and have you ever played it before?
More than I would be willing to admit, probably.
That's perfectly fine. You?
A little bit, not too much.
I haven't.
I've been thinking of making games with Roblox. I just want to see what people think of it before I dive in, I guess.